So welcome everyone, welcome to the PLC for all you new arrivals. If you really kind of want to come out of the matrix and you're in the right place. This is really a new sort of frontier, and we're setting up this lovely holistic society around the world. And so there's loads of new opportunities for people to bring their skills, talents, vocations, visions, frequencies into the mix, and co-create some wonderful things. So positive living communities is basically we will help people build hubs around the world. We've got all these different benefits. Essentially, it's a holistic template where you have a community hub, you have a health hub, you have an enterprise hub, a lawful hub, and a resources hub, all in one big juicy PLC hub. So there's all sorts of different aspects to it. Essentially what it is, it's an area that you set up either indoors or outdoors. It could be in one building, in one room, like a community hall, or it can be in several buildings, or even tents if you want to set it up in a field, maybe when the weather's better. So yeah, and within that are those 5 hubs, and really you're at the center of that. So all these hubs work for you. They help you to find your vocation. They can help you with health advice and community advice, also resources that we share with people, and lawful advice as well to help you resist those unlawful claims, etc. So yeah, essentially we've got various packages or various kind of ways of doing things. We use Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is a good way of looking at that sort of whole human and what a human needs effectively. And then to help people kind of uncouple from the kind of the matrix, the slavery matrix, and find their own kind of vocation, we use Ikigai, which is a sort of Japanese philosophy. And really it's essentially 4 questions that we ask people to answer. And from those answers, hopefully we can find a sort of cluster or a role or a true life calling that they can get paid for and that they love to do and that they're good at, and also look, the world needs. So also there's other resources such as the learning journeys and various other supplementary kind of data as well. So yeah, we do calls each week. This week it's the public calls, next week it's the members calls. So it's lovely to have you join us. And yeah, we offer advice, basically how to get your hubs together, particular issues, etc., with the members, and also for people who are just coming into to this sort of holistic alternative way of living. We kind of help people and guide them to understand what that's all about, really, because it's lots of new terms, lots of new concepts. And so yeah, coaching and advice for people coming out of the matrix into that sort of holistic society, and coaching and advice for people who already got their hubs up and running and are doing a marvelous job, and may need some support and advice on certain issues like team dynamics, etc., or mindset shifts and things like that. So or even how to run the hub in ways that are more kind of supportive for each member. So part of that, we've got the 2 learning journeys. We've got the one for the individual, to help them come out of suffering. It's really finding your own freedom. I put a chap there with a silver suit and a foil hat, just to emphasize he's owning his freedom, and he's strolling across the street in his golden bubble of light, fully in charge of his life and living the dream. This is really it's jovial cover, but actually it's quite serious. It's actually helping a lot of people to come out of the suffering that they're in, or the situations that they're in that are causing them suffering. And a lot of that is a psychological issue or a circumstance issue. And so it's really important to help people find their own resilience and empowerment, really. So that's that learning journey for the individual. But also we've got one for the community as well. So if you want to co-create a community of people how can you do that on a harmonic level, on a loving, kind, unity consciousness level, because obviously there's lots of dynamics with different people involved, and that's really good as well, because it helps you to sort of find that common thread that unites you all, and help you to build your communities together, and become more resilient and more resourceful and have more options. So those two journeys are really good if you want to go through those. Those are great. We give advice and coaching on those as well. So really, yeah, this is actually extending each month. Really, we've got more and more people who we're finding are similar-minded, community groups, holistic groups, just getting on with it really. And we're affiliated with the People's Food and Farming Alliance, the People's Health Alliance. We're also food ambassador for Food Finders Hub UK. I also run Stand in the Park as well, so we're linked with Stand in the Park. We've got Free Energy Nationwide, which is brilliant. They help to replace meters and things like that. And then, so we've got Nourish Network as well. They grow food and support their community with the food. We've got Star Teachings Protocol. That's my other website. And we've got Inspirations PLG, which is the lovely Jackie White's group, Positive Living group. And we've also got the Blandford Community, Holistic Community group there as well. And that's just a local holistic group, lovely group there. And there's many more, around the world. I've just put this up just to kind of give you an idea that we're sort of interconnecting with loads of different groups and networks, and they're all kind of really positive and really actually making a difference, and not kind of, really being part of the old ways that control and full of hierarchy and all those horrible things. So yeah, as part of that, we offer a hub starter kit for people who join PLC. It's literally from scratch. What do you do to create a hub, a local community hub in your area with your community? Literally, if you have no idea, this is a good starter kit, because it helps you from dot to do sort of various practical things to get your group of people together and start, forming an idea of what you want to do. So that's just been released, and we've also got the Hub Starter Kit 2. 3-month members, you get a Hub Starter Kit 2, so that's a bit more detail about. That's once you've got your group together and you're meeting regularly, what sort of things can you do? So group activities, and various other things. I don't want to give it all away, so you'll have to become a member to see what it's all about. And we're just actually, I'm working on Hub Starter Kit 3, which is for the 6-month members as well, because then there's a sort of progression really as you gather your tribe, and that develops. You also kind of have to take on more different kind of dynamics really, and so that's helping with that. So yeah, this is like the hand of love poking its way out towards you through the horrible slavery matrix of material world of lots of NPCs and lots of narcissists and all those horrible people. We're reaching out to you and saying there's a brilliant community of loving, kind, expanded consciousness people who are really just getting on with it and trying to be conscious about what they're doing, and just trying to make things better for themselves and other people. So please, it would be such a joy to have you as members and help you out. So please have a look at the website and see if you'd like to become a member. Hi Jane. Hi Shreba.
Hey girls.
How we doing? You all right?
Yeah. I can't hear much with my left ear at the moment. It's a bit weird.
Oh.
It's all right. It's all right. I can hear. It's just the thingy's not working properly.
Oh, okay. So it's not a blocked ear or anything like that. Oh, okay. That's good.
It's just a frustrating earphone. That's better. No, it's not.
Cool. Well, it's lovely to see everyone. Hello. Have you all? Well, let's start with let's start with Justina. How's your week been? Because I go around everyone,
Yeah,
and I think we all know each other here, so there's no new members today, it seems so far.
old new me.
Apart from the lovely Justina, who's our latest member, who's doing brilliant stuff as well, with the light language and the art, and really doing well there. And actually, you know, as you're kind of doing all this new stuff, you're finding it very joyful, aren't you? You're getting a lot of feedback because you put your creative output out there. You're getting that feedback. Whereas if you hadn't painted any pictures or done any of
Yeah,
that, you wouldn't get any of that love back. You'd get it in a different way, you know. So it's
yeah,
cool.
it's interesting. It's interesting, especially after our last meeting. Uh, you basically encouraged me to do the video, and I do actually the painting, and my codes was for courage. So I
Good.
was just kick out to just talk in front of camera. I don't remember what I was saying, but I just public and I got quite very nice comments and follows, like 5, 7 people, just strangers. Really, really was nice. Amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's. I mean, you're. If you think about it, your expression is the opposite of depression. So
Yeah.
basically, you're allowing your free thinking and your free creative flow, and other people appreciate that. And you know, because you're putting it out there, they're actually giving that feedback back to you. So it's like a kind of extra rich life now, because you know you've got all that extra um, love and support from the people that like your artwork and like your ideas and stuff like that. So you know, you, Sophie, other people, Shareva, all good examples of, you know, being your own boss and kind of taking the reins and you know, becoming more creative and bringing more of that finance and money back to you as well. So yeah, cool. Keep making those videos. They're good. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure about the AI voice. It's
Yeah,
a
I
bit
agree. I agree. I need to start like my accent and be more,
even
yeah,
don't I
perfect,
mean,
imperfect.
yeah, exactly. And actually it will make you more, you know, you, because you won't be speaking in the perfect Queen's English, and people don't care about that stuff nowadays anyway.
Yeah,
So
I'm a
yeah,
Polish accent.
yeah, just have a Polish flavor basically. So that's cool.
Yeah, cabbagey flavor. Okay.
Thanks, Justina. Jane, how's your
Thank
week
you.
been? You're on mute, or I can't hear you. There's
Gardening, and more gardening, mostly, and doing some website stuff and a bit of just being and thinking about connecting with people and had a lovely meeting with Dawn this morning, who's very on board for connecting, people in, just connecting in the area, um, and knowing that it will all come together when the time is right, um, which is probably now, but somehow it kind of will, when push comes to shove, we'll all just come out of the woodwork, is what we're both feeling. It'll
yeah.
happen. It'll
Well,
happen. So
we're
long as
kind of
we've got all those connections, cooking away, then, and we all know what our skills are. So, it'll all just come together as and when.
absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
it's it starts. You can't push these things on people, and people have to come to it from their own volition. You know, and that's the best way, because then you've got enthusiastic people who are actually getting a benefit out of it, and want to continue doing that. So.
Yeah.
And I hate obligations. I look at all you guys and I think, how would I be like that as well? You know, and I don't want anyone kind of teaching me an ideology or putting me through a kind of hierarchical system and stuff like that. So that's why I don't, do the obligations thing. And it's nice for people to pop in and pop out when they've got time.
Yeah.
And that's nice as well when you kind of, like you've done, you've just put your intention out there locally, and people have come out and said, yeah, that's a really lovely idea. And you've had several gatherings now. And like I was saying I'll say to the rest of you guys, it would be good when you get your community gatherings together to find out what people's skill sets are, because then you can kind of cross-pollinate. Someone somewhere will need a skill that someone somewhere has got, sort of thing. So yeah, I was just encouraging Jane to share the skill sets of the people in the group, because actually, as more and more people join our communities, we'll have greater and greater resources from those skill sets as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was today, my neighbour welded up my fire pit, which had lost a handle. And I just happened to say to him, he was talking about his daughter who's 5, 4, and not not letting her watch a screen very much. So we just kind of had a half awake conversation. And I said, so you're awake to all that nonsense? And he said, yeah, we're awake to all of that nonsense. And he said, and they want to take our money away, our cash away soon. So, I think there are people, you don't want to go into a full-on conversation with them, but I just said to him, because I took a bag of courgette down, and I said, listen, it's just about exchange of energies, really, and we're all going to have to help each other out. So I'm kind of just sowing seeds around that are just totally neutral, if you like.
Yeah.
No sort of conspiracy stuff or anything. It's just neutral agreement about the way the world is going, and that
good.
to me is important, just to kind of make sure that everybody knows that we're all here for each other.
Exactly, and that's perfect unity consciousness, because you're actually, that there's a difference of opinion maybe with someone. They may not be aware as you are about certain things, but you're finding kind of common themes or topics to talk about, and in that you can throw a few little thought seeds in there, and then that way it doesn't have to be a conversation of conflict or trying to prove something to people who are not prepared to listen and stuff. So yeah, no, brilliant. That's the way it should be, because we've all got some common threads. We can all kind of unite on certain topics. So yeah, that's perfect way of doing it. Thank you, Jane.
Right.
Tereva, how's your week been?
Good. Busy with tech. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Different headphones. I also have a bad earpiece, Jane. Yeah, so it's Tech Week for the Through the Looking Glass, a circus version of Alice in Wonderland. I am the Red Queen, so I have on way too much makeup.
I wondered about.
Yeah, like, hello, eyelashes. Yeah, so I'll paint my lips on and put on my wig when I get there. But I have to leave right after the meeting, so I thought I'll do all this now, and then I don't have to stress about it when we get there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm teaching my soaps classes, and I'm actually renting the studio to some, periodically to friends who need space to rehearse. So I feel like, momentum, but it's not, I'm not throwing myself into it like too much, just enough to kind of naturally see where it goes. Yeah.
Great.
Can't complain.
That's great. I think it's really important to all three of you guys that I've spoken to already, you're all expressing yourself, you're all being creative in your own ways, and you're all releasing those lovely frequencies that's coming through you and stuff like that. And that's so important, to be in your joy and also be paid for that, so that's what I really like about the fact that people who are proactive and they're finding the opportunities and stuff like that. And actually what's nice about your studio, since you decided to put it out for tender for people to come in and work in that space, it's starting to blossom, and actually you're bringing in more abundance from that, aren't you, as well? So that's more contacts, that's more wages, people paying for the hire and teaching and stuff like that. So that's another really good example of how taking control you know, changing reality the way that you want it, is how it should go, really, because then you're creating more of what you want to see in the world ahead of you, rather than kind of trying to avoid all the stuff being put upon you, sort of thing. So yeah, brilliant, nice one. Thank you, Shraver. And the makeup looks great, by the way. So who have we got next? We've got Terry, is that right? I can see your picture on the wall, but oh, and there's a hand. Hello, reaching out, grabbing pressing the mute. Can't. Yeah, it's not nearly there. Not quite. No, not just not down a bit.
I'm here.
Hey, we're there.
I always do the mute button at the top, and it's at the bottom. Sorry about that.
No
I'm
worries.
so exhausted, so I'm laying down.
Oh, fair dues. You take it easy.
Yes.
There's a chap who comes on here, and he likes to lie on the sofa with a big Arcturian sun behind him. So it's all good.
Oh, good, because I'm so achy. I've been getting cleavers, you know, from the garden and soaking them in water, and it's so refreshing. And it's supposed to be so good for you. So, and I'm quite lucky to have an overgrown garden now, because I'm thinking of all those cleavers out there that I can dry and put them in jars for winter then. So
brilliant. Yeah,
that was the only exciting thing I had to say.
So how did you hear about us? And you know, we're interested to find out about you as well, because you know it's lovely people on this group, and you're you know, and each person is a universe in their own right. So you know, and it'll be lovely to kind of explain what we do as well a bit more. We usually put a slideshow on at the beginning, but I think we've skipped that one this time around. But yeah, so just about us, really. We're a global holistic community, and we create community hubs around the world, and help people gather and kind of shift their mindsets into a sort of holistic unity, loving consciousness, where we're all supporting each other. So these calls and the spaces that we create are sacred kind of sanctuaries or sacred spaces where people can kind of flourish and find friendship and, you know, all those sorts of lovely things. So that's in a nutshell what we kind of do.
Okay.
We kind of we also kind of go around the group, but it's fine if you don't want to discuss stuff as well, because some people may want to do ironing naked and they won't want the screen on and things like that. But you know, and people, it's as much as or as little as you want to divulge about yourself. That and we kind of just talk about all these lovely holistic things and all these kind of ways of doing, you know, building community and well-being sort of thing.
Right. I'm just going through a right old 3D thing at the moment that I've got to do.
Yeah.
And then I can be you know, back on track. Do you see what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean,
a few more days. That's why I'm so exhausted. A few more days, and then I've done what I need to do, and then I can go woo back to my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I have to dip into 3D every now and then, and it's not very nice. But you know, yeah, we're multidimensional beings, so you know, the fact that we can means that we do. So you know,
well, I had to. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Sometimes
had to tackle something. Yeah.
You just get pushed into that. Well, if there's anything that we can assist or maybe provide information for you with that may help you out of that situation, or
it's a legal thing. I've had to be my own solicitor. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And use that chat GTP, whatever it's called, to set it all out for me, that sort of thing. So it's a bit boring, but
yeah,
it would be, yeah.
Well, it's this whole legal system is a complete mess, and so I can completely understand because I've had experience of it. So whatever it is that you're facing, I hope that you manage to get your remedy that you're seeking.
Yeah, because I don't want to bring the group down talking about boring stuff. That's why I'm sort of hiding, really. Well, I'm really, really tired because it
Yeah.
wears you out, doesn't it? And
Oh,
I just need
totally.
to think about all the nice stuff, and do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
Well,
you
good.
lot are going to cheer me up with all the lovely healthy stuff and that.
Yes, we are. And also I'll say this as well, the judiciary and all that lot's going to crumble soon. So and it's going to
Oh,
return to natural divine law, which is kind of form of maritime law, but space maritime law. So that's all to come, because it can't sustain itself, because it's a corporation, all the law and that sort of stuff.
yeah.
So
Oh, won't that be lovely? It'll really raise our vibration, won't it? Because we're all connected.
totally, and you know, people are already challenging constitution, or the fake constitutions, shall we say?
Yeah,
So
it's our perception, isn't it? If
yeah,
enough of us have got the I don't know if it's the right word, perception that we are free, and we should be, because it's supposed to be for everybody. We're supposed to have appointed them to look after us, aren't we? We're paying them and appointing them to look after us. So
yeah.
why would we agree to anything other than our greater good? We
Exactly,
wouldn't, would
and
we?
when you, it's only the illusion of the authority. It's not actually any
Yeah,
authority, and they rely on us having that illusion of
that's it.
authority. And so, you know, we go to them, and then for some sort of incident or something that we need a remedy for, and we find out that they're actually gatekeepers. They're not there to help society or the public. They're
Mm.
there to actually stop whistleblowers, stop justice getting done, and continue that criminal enterprise effectively,
Mm.
and enforce that fake law. So yeah, well, good luck with that. And yeah,
Yes,
it's always horrible to deal with that. So let's talk about really nice things instead.
yes, happy stuff. You get me off.
Well, yes, I'll move on to Tori. Thank you, Terry. That's brilliant. Nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. Nice to see your hand and the picture. Your left hand. Yeah, that's good. Cool. Hi, Tori. How are you?
Hi, Matt. I'm in a completely different world, and I wasn't expecting to be in a completely different world, and my whole life has just turned. And one minute I knew what I was doing, and I knew where I was going, and I know life can change on a sixpence at any point, and I'm always grateful of what we have every day. But I wasn't expecting it, as you never do, in a nice way, thankfully, because in life it hasn't always been nice, but it's almost been like, I was wanting to run groups and do that and expand on that. And that isn't what the universe wants me to do. Absolutely not, because the perfect properties that I viewed were saying, forget it, it's not yours. And I thought, okay. And then my head was turned to people who were, like us, creating their own community, completely letting go of the system, completely being free, taking that risk, taking that jump of doing what they want and having nothing to hold them in safety, just doing it, not relying on anyone, not having the money, not doing anything. And because they were acting to their spiritual self, everything fell into place and everything was falling into place. And if they were hungry, then somebody gave them a meal. Or if their shoes broke, then somebody would offer them a pair of shoes. And it's going right back down to being so humble and just all of that, what encompasses that, really. So my head was turned, and then I've been drawn to go to Portugal, which I know it's just like bizarre, right? Because I kept getting all these messages saying, because I was like, what the hell is going on? I was quite happy going down this road, thank you very much. This is the road I thought I was going to go down. No, sorry, you're going this way.
Where did Portugal come from? That's a bit of a random factor.
So I had to go to Knowlton Church. I had to go and have some time to myself, ground, be at one with the ley lines and nature. That helped me massively. so I could, like, you know, just realign. And, you know, all the different numbers and that were coming up. They were saying, be ready to jump into the unknown, be ready to start again, like completely start again.
Wow.
And just go with it. Just
And
go
what,
with it.
and whereabouts in Portugal we thinking of?
I don't even know if I'm going yet, Matt. Just going at the moment. It just, I just haven't got a clue what's going on. I just feel like a rabbit in the headlights. And
You're
then
just following your nose, are you, sort of thing?
I went to see a house today, and well, I think it's going to be that one because I feel things. I don't know if I'm right. And now that is a cheaper house, a smaller house. So it's almost like the universe is saying, all you need right now is a bolt hole because you're not staying.
Right.
You're going. And you
Gotcha.
might be coming back and forth. You might be coming back and forth. I haven't even got a clue why. I know what my values are, and I know who I am, and I know I've dealt with my shit, you know, and I am me. I'm the real me, the most real me, and I've not found other people like me until, you know, joining this group. And it's like, well, if that's what I'm meant to do, whether it's for growth and come back to know something different, who knows? I've got a foggy. I'm letting go. So right now I'm in the midst of letting go and letting go and letting go and letting go of everything. Oh, it's just
Is that
it,
nice?
I don't know what it is. It's just blowing my mind at the moment. I'm just going with it. I'm just having to let go and grind myself.
I think that's quite interesting what you said, actually, because you said, you know, I know myself, I've got my shit together, and in terms of, like, you've done the work, you can go anywhere in the world, can't you? That means basically because because of your work, you know that you can help people out, but also you know that yourself enough to know that you'll be, you know, pretty sorted wherever you go. So that's a really lovely feeling, surely, to know that you're kind of self-sufficient and you know, resourceful enough to go to any other country if you wished, and you know, there. So yeah, great.
Well, I wish it all felt as easy as you've put it, really, Matt. But you know, it's just like it's like letting go. It's like letting go of my body, but keeping my spirit. And it's
Okay.
really weird this last week. And I felt like I'm walking in body on one world, and then in spirit, I'm walking in another world. It's just really,
Interesting.
no, I'm odd. I'm absolutely fine with that. I always have been,
Well,
you know.
I'm fine with that. I hope we're all odd here, you know.
Yeah,
I don't want normal people, thank you.
thank you very much.
Yes, those people can go. Well, you know, if you're feeling it, you're feeling it. These are very strange times, aren't they? I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of left in this sort of sour aftertaste of kind of telling everyone ahead of the curve, then the thing actually happening, then post that event, and everyone's kind of, who I was kind of warning, is still pretty much the same. They're it's like the biggest kind of mass depopulation events going on right now, and most people are just like, think it's just normal as ever. And I'm just thinking, wow, this is just so bizarre. This kind of two realities. The false light that everyone's kind of walking around believing those lies, and then there's the one that's much more expanded, where we push through that, oh, I can be fooled kind of barrier, you know, and we've broken that ego thing, and we've come out, and we're like, oh, there's loads more, and actually, this is the truth about that incident. So it's like, it's quite interesting that we, you know, we're not a fixed state. We're expanding. We're constantly expanding, us lot. But you know, just seeing these people walking around with still that same sort of gobstopper head of kind of layers of lies that they're still holding on to because of their ego. It's absolutely bizarre. And so this is a bizarre time. And then on top of that, we've got all the disclosure stuff. We've got all the stuff coming out of Mexico about how ETs were here and things like that. We've got all the stuff about how the governments are basically the criminals. So, and we're kind of, so the whole paradigm about humanity and what it is and what it is to have a civilization or society, all that's kind of changing, you know, depending on who you are and where your levels of perception are at. So fortunately, most of us lot have got a much wider perception and a lot more kind of prepared to take on stuff that's not necessarily nice truth, but, you know, prepared to understand the truth for what it is as its importance above our own feelings, kind of thing. So, you know, someone said the other day, actually, it was quite interesting. We buy back our village. You know, at the moment, it's like we go to work, you know, we work all day, we pay someone to clean the house, we may have a cook, you know, that we pay for, or a gardener that we pay for. It's like we're being pulled out of our own village and we're having to buy it back in services of different people, almost. So it's like not ours as well. So it's like we're having to buy our way back into the village that we had, that we were fooled, you know, into working and ignoring and letting go and hiring people for. So it's a bizarre situation at the moment, you know. The whole notion of the benevolent society or benevolent governments is being completely eroded on purpose, because they want to shift the whole paradigm and bring in a new control system. But I don't think it's going to work, because we've got enough knowledge now of the darkness underneath of that, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, very interesting times. And I, you know, the other day I was like, I don't know what to feel, because I was like, I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to go down that road of thought. I don't want to go down this road of thought. So I was just staying in this little bubble and not really kind of wanting to advance thinking in any particular direction. But I was happy with that, because I was just seeing it being presented and not entangling in it, and then just kind of letting it flow. And then, you know, that just passed. But it's very strange energies at the moment. So yeah, thanks, Tori. I appreciate that.
Thank
Christine,
you.
hi. How are you?
Good evening. Hot. Yeah, I've literally just come back from the land, so watering. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah.
How's your land? Is it all right? Is it bit parched
Yeah.
at the moment?
Yeah. Well, I've had a guy in to give me a quote on doing some work, and some of it's quite major work to get the situation with the flooding bit sorted and passing it into the next field who gave it me in the first place. So share and share alike, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Added to which, I've got to fence off a bit more garden. I'm doing the same size the other side, and more trees will go in and more bushes. What else? I'm going to put up, I call it an arbor. I want it for growing the grapes all along. So,
Nice.
yeah, so I'm going to get that put in and sort out the damp at the top of the field. He's going to set it up so that if I want to tap into the water and put a tank in, I can. But that's a huge chunk of money that at this point in time, I'm not sure that I want to spend.
Right.
He's going to, at the polytunnel, when I put that in the chicken run, I dug out and I put a trench in, but I did it with small shingle, and I should have done it with bigger stuff and put a pipe work in.
Right.
So now we're having to redo that. But anyway, I'm quite happy if someone else comes and does it, and I'll just chuck the money out when.
There's also, you know, reed beds are a really good way of filtering waste as well. So
What's
and
that?
reed beds. So
Okay.
in France, one of the ways in which they manage out waste is they'll create like a reed bed, and then all that waste comes, the excess from the septic tank goes into that, and then it's broken down in nature just naturally. So that's you know, that's beside the point really. It's good that you're just kind of planning and, you know, looking at your options. How are your chickens? How are they doing?
They're doing well. The little grey bantam, she has hardly moved, and I don't see her when she goes to eat. I know she's eating because the food's disappearing, but she's religiously sitting on her 4 hen eggs. So I'm loving that really. I've taken the other bantam out because well, maybe that didn't work for me anyway. And she seems to have integrated back into being a bantam as opposed to a broody bantam. So
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's good then. She's not going
it's
to
all
be.
learning curve for me.
Yeah.
I haven't done chickens before the last 2 years, and like I say, it's just learning as I go.
Yeah. Same. I've got a tomato plant, and it's like it's got 3 tomatoes on it now.
Well
And
then.
I've never grown a tomato plant before in my life, so I'm fascinated by it. So
Yeah.
it's great. Love it.
Well, I got 2 cucumbers, and I've got an abundance of broad beans still. I mean, I made jam yesterday. I made a quiche because I got abundance of eggs, and I made a baked cheesecake.
Fab.
So I got more food than I need or know what to do with.
You see, this is the thing, even though we may not have all the food that we want to hand, the things that we do grow and do create and do produce is abundant, and we can share with others and stuff like that. And then them sharing with us then fills that gap of a certain resource that we don't have, sort of thing. So it's lovely seeing everyone producing these things. As well, and then just kind of showing off. I'm looking forward to my Loganberry jam, Jane.
Oh,
and
I just made red and blackcurrant jam.
Oh, okay, nice.
I like the tartar jam. I don't
Oh,
like
okay.
strawberry. I don't know, it's too sweet.
Oh, yeah, I've got totally.
I like a gooseberry or apricot, something like that.
Cool. It's great, and it's a good example of how, when we kind of get a bit more together with the PLC, we'll be starting to share that amongst each other, that what we're growing and stuff like that. And it's going to be a joy as well, because that'll be money for you guys as well. So the things that you sell, the money goes to you. So and if you want to donate any of that to PLC pot, then lovely. But I'm trying to get these economies going, because I know we'll need an economy. We'll need pretty much the same economy type of, buying and selling, bartering, exchanging, and all that sort of stuff. But we'll need it without the cabal side of things, because people always will want to trade and stuff like that. So the fact that we're getting into that frame of mind and then creating those communities that will provide that space. So that's brilliant. That's really good. I think I've done everyone. Have I done everyone on the? Is that all of them? Is that everyone?
There was another lady, but I think she's gone.
Oh, okay.
My friend Manuela, and she emailed me to say that she couldn't stay on. So
okay.
Yeah.
So how are we doing for time?
It's just gone past.
Right. Does anyone want to discuss anything? Because I've got something I want to discuss, and I've even got drawings.
Can I tell
Terry
you?
Ann has.
Oh, sorry. Is it okay to? I don't know if I told you before, or if you already know about Barter Chain. It's an app that does skill shares. It's a worldwide one. A lady in Ireland made it.
Barter Chain.
Barter Chain app.
Oh, I'll have a look at that. Thank you.
I think it's quite colourful.
This is great, because this is what it's all about: sharing information, with each other.
And people in Ireland are working on a directory. It's going to be called Com Unity, and it's going to be all the things that we want to sell to each other.
Great.
They're working on it now.
Brilliant. You see, it's necessity is the mother of invention, basically, because it's all been put upon us. It's forcing people to find alternative ways of making money and stuff like that. So great. Yeah, I'd love to. And we're not adverse to technology as well, so long as it's beneficial and not kind of controlling types of technology. And actually, the organic portal, us human beings, are the ultimate final say.
And it's not a paying one. You don't pay. You swap.
Okay, so, that sounds like
better.
A bit like there's another one called Reshare or something like that.
And you can. They've even introduced food into it as well. So It's food and skills.
brilliant. Because we're also part of the Food Finders Hub network as well.
What's it called?
Food Finders Hub, I think.
Food Finders. Oh,
or
thanks.
Food Finders Network, yeah. So I just wanted to bring out what I was talking about earlier with perception management. I've got a diagram here. I don't know if you can see that. Basically, there's two forms of learning. Oh, hang on. There's two forms of learning. There's this one, which is basically someone telling you something. So it's someone inputting an image or a thought or a concept into you. So that's putting into you information. Now, the way I look at information is I have an idea and I go and search for it with my own curiosity rather than being front loaded. So if I'm thinking about what is reality, I'm not listening to someone who's telling me their version of reality. I'm looking at it from my own curiosity. So that's a different type of learning, which is basically you're inputting the information into you, not anyone else. So people who are still in the matrix, are still in the 3D, they have information that's been put into them, like we all have been indoctrinated from birth, but it's all put into them, and then they have this kind of version of reality because that's all they've been told, and they haven't looked for themselves. They've just been told that, and then they believe that. So that's how they then see reality. That's their perception that's completely controlled, because they'll then see what they believe, not the other way around. So most people are walking around with this kind of perception bubble around, thinking that that's what reality is. But they have to, it's controlled by ego, by arrogance. And so if you can't admit that you can be fooled, you're never going to break free of that. You're never going to start unlearning. But when you can start admitting that you may possibly have got things wrong and you could possibly be incorrect about things, that opens this prison, that breaks it, because you're prepared to say, oh, I might not have got that right, and then you start challenging your beliefs. And so it's really important to be able to unlearn as well, and keep an open, never put a fixed ending on something that you have understood as well. So always have that open, because then you're in flow and allowing information to come into you that you're investigating, not that's being told to you. And if you do want information that's being told to you, make sure you listen to people who've experienced that life. Don't listen to people who just coulda, shoulda, woulda, this is how it should be, this is conjecture, this is my opinion. If you want to know about animals, horses, talk to a horse owner, not a painter of horses. Do you see what I mean? So if you get it from the experts, I was going to say the horse's mouth, the expert's mouth, then you're hearing that information that's been lived as an experience, rather than this sort of exercise of what it could be. And that's where all the lies stuff is, because they're telling you what to believe then. So that's just different ways of learning. There's one way in which you're being fed, it's going into you, and then people adopt that. But then there's the other way, which most of us do, which is find that information ourselves. We go and hunt it down, and it might not be a nice truth, but we'll accept it, because it's the truth to us, sort of thing. So that's different kind of ways of learning, and most of the ways I want to encourage everyone to learn is autodidactic, to find it yourself, basically, rather than being spoon-fed that like the media do to us. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of point that out about how to learn information in the right way, that you claim ownership of it, rather than someone's owning it, feeding it into you, and then it's their thing but it's inside of you. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to point that out. And then the other thing I kind of wanted to point out was about unlearning. because some people say, well, how do you do that? Well, all you have to do is basically, like I said, number one, nothing is fixed. No belief. Don't say my belief on this is exactly fixed and that's it, concrete for life now. Make it flexible and always open to adding more information on top. Second thing is changing your beliefs. So challenge them. You know, is the sea blue? I'm going to go down to the sea and look. Oh no, it's changeable every day. It can be orange as well. Things like that. And then yeah, like I said, the third thing is be prepared to admit that you've got stuff wrong, and know that actually people who think that they can't be fooled are the first type of people to be fooled, because that arrogance kind of keeps them, if they believe what they've been told, then they'll hold on to that false belief. So yeah, just kind of wanted to help people understand the different types of learning. Most of the 3D people fed into them other people's external concepts, whereas if you're constantly curious and searching in life for things or solutions or want to know stuff, then you are going and retrieving that information and it's yours. So that's the difference. Yeah. So yeah, anyone want to talk about anything before we head off into the great yonder?
Can I ask?
Yes.
Has anybody felt like they've had a calling and they don't even really know why, if it has, like me, like changed their direction? Like, I know you're just supposed to go with it, but has anybody experienced anything like it? I haven't experienced anything like it. I thought I knew what my calling was, but maybe I've done that and now I need to do it in a different way, because I have done it all my life, to be fair, that one calling. So I wonder if I'm meant to do it differently. I am just letting go and going with the flow and grounding myself, but I just wondered if there was anybody else that's had similar experiences of being called in a certain direction, not really knowing what the end result is going to be, sort of thing.
You could say that's all of us. Really, that's life. You know.
I know, but it's just really strong, and it's just changed within a week, and it's just been so strange, you know. I've not had it, like, obviously, like, things happen in life and you do change quickly round a corner, but it's always really been quite traumatic, my change has in my life. So you have to change, damn well like it or not. But this has been a nice change, but not really do you know what I mean? Not really of anything in particular. It's just happened, you know.
I think maybe because you're framing it, because obviously you're seeing it from your subjective perspective, you're maybe in a better place, but you know that change is constant, and you've changed and adapted before, but they've not necessarily been positive changes, or your approach to it you may have thought that it's not positive, but it may have been. But anyway, that's beside the point. But because your status or state of mind has shifted, you've noticed another change, but in this case it's not a negative connotation. It's like a pleasant change, and maybe you're just kind of not used to that, and you're kind of like,
all the energies are going crazy at the moment, and she might be feeling that, and that's why she's feeling a bit of a spin.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. You know, they are swirling around at the moment. We're actually in that period just after the solstice, so we're going, it takes a little while to change over on that apex, so we're going through this kind of swirling motion as the sun, the light starts reducing every day. So we're in that kind of turbulence of swirling light and magnetism, and planetary dynamics as well. So there is a lot going on.
People were saying that the Earth is supposed to be 7.3 and it's gone up to 72 or something, because they said it's like a panic attack thing.
Well, I'm a bit not. The Schumann resonance came about from the guy called Schumann, who basically wanted to work out whether the atmosphere moved with the planet or whether the planet moved independently from the atmosphere. And he worked out that there was barometric pressure, so that means that it was in an enclosed environment. It was an enclosed atmosphere, and then he worked out that basically the clouds move with the Earth as well, because it's all captured in one environment, one zone, effectively. But along with that, he started taking other measurements, so things like telluric currents, magnetic currents of the Earth, the vibration, which is, you know, it was 7.2, but it does fluctuate. You know, it's a living
I
being.
thought it was people. I thought it was coming from the Earth and us.
No, it's taking measurements from the Earth, basically tectonic measurements, atmospheric measurements, barometric measurements, magnetic measurements, meteorological measurements, and then it's combining all of those in an output called the Schumann resonance. So when people get too embroiled in the point one or the point two, you know, the Earth is a beautiful being, and it's, you know, it's a dynamic model. So I don't get too het up on a kind of system of just calculating and measuring, because actually,
is she okay then? Is Mother Earth okay at the moment? Is she not having a panic attack?
She's actually, what she's doing, she's throwing off the corrupt patriarchy. So there are things like obelisks between Vesica Pisces in Washington State, in London, in the Vatican, and these are all designed to basically put in a barrier between the divine feminine. So those are now crumbling. That's the ancient.
Crumbling? What, in real life?
Yeah, that's the Babylon system, the Babylon Cabal system.
But do you mean it's actually crumbling, the concrete, or do you mean
everything? It's all going. Yeah, there's if you go, there's one down the road from me. Look at the base; it's been replastered and replastered several times, because Earth is just going, no thanks, and she's just shaking all this sort of nonsense off.
Oh, she's not having a panic attack. She's getting rid of the rubbish.
Yeah, and she's also using water, that divine element, to flush it all away, to flush and to create new systems and stuff. So she's greening deserts and things like that. So
thank you for that.
We are getting weather manipulation as well, so there is that in the mix.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's shaking things up. So yeah, things will come into abundance more. So
thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you hear me? Yeah. So we going like 20 years in 1 year, yeah? Something like that. So I usually like, oh, it's already this time. Like you know you're late somehow, but I'm like, I don't remember when the June gone, for example. But this week I'm like 1 week ahead. What's going on? It's like basically for me it's next week, not this week. With everything.
It's slightly different, because in some ways you're absorbing a lot of light codes. You know, you're doing your artwork and you're doing it outside and stuff like that, and you're projecting yourself proactively forward. So maybe you're pulling in your timeline a bit earlier, because you're being so expressive.
I almost go to work early than I'm supposed to, like minutes and a day. It's just like I'm forward so much this week.
We are getting that time compression and time stretching. So time compression is basically when loads of things pile on top of you. You're like, I just haven't got time in the day for these. And time stretching is basically when you find yourself like, what, I've done everything. What do I do? I've got to think of something to do now, kind of thing. So there's all, and it's different per person. So because it depends on your timeline. So yeah, just ground, breathe, deep breaths, smile and wave at the trouble, and you know, nothing stays the same, so it will pass. Hopefully, any of those troubles, sort of thing. Yeah, and just hold on for dear life, and just enjoy, you know, every day, because you know, like Tori, you know, like we're all experiencing, there are new opportunities every day, and you know, it just takes you to see it really, and you have to have that frame of mind to do that. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that's pretty much. I should say, ladies. I keep saying guys as a sort of default. Thank you very much, ladies. It's a privilege.
Patriarchy down.
What's that?
Patriarchy down. All goddess here.
Yeah, that's good. I don't mind holding the harem. Thank you, guys, ladies, and have a lovely week. And really, really is joy, and I really, really love these conversations because there's other people like us. We're not alone, and we're making some wonderful friends, and we're doing some brilliant creative stuff, and we're changing things up. So, you know, thank you very much. Lots of
Bye.
love, guys. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.